All right, I'm here today with Melissa Berry. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning or afternoon. It's nice being here.
Call it a morning, afternoon. You have your own firm called At Ease.
Yes, so I'm the owner-founder of At Ease Law.
I like it.
We help marriages end well, we help people protect time with their kids, and we help people get out of trouble for committing crimes.
What's the tagline? I feel at ease when I'm with Melissa.
I mean, you should.
I could do the commercial for you. I don't know. With the monotone, it probably won't get you many clients, but at ease.
We help you navigate the law with ease.
I like that. So today will be for educational purposes only. Is that a good disclaimer?
Yes, we can't give any legal advice.
No legal
Anything we
advice.
say, we're not forming an attorney-client relationship. We're just here having fun and
only.
entertaining, yes.
Yes, that's what I did. My best friend was on. He's a criminal defense attorney, so I won't tell him that I had you on. And we'll send you the divorce side of people, right?
Yes, so our focus is more on divorce and custody than criminal, but we still handle some criminal cases. My background as a prosecutor makes
Okay.
it so I am very comfortable with protecting people's rights, and I value my rights, so I don't want to be searched illegally for no reason, so I help people protect their rights.
How did you go from prosecutor, that's a tough word for me, prosecutor, I said it right. How'd you go from that side to the other side?
So I had a baby and went part-time, went from a full-time government position to a part-time mom position and a part-time...
Is there such a thing as a part-time mom?
It's full-time mom because you work from sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
But part-time, like I was doing the part-time legal thing. So I could take care of my kid and raise my kid because I wanted to do it myself.
Yeah, that's impressive. You could do both. I told my wife, stay at home. I'll work 7 days a week. Raising a kid is harder than working several jobs.
Raising good humans is the hardest.
I guess so. That's the right way to say it, right? Good humans. So what was different on the that word is so tough for me, prosecutor side?
So, you have all of the power. Let's call it power. I hate to use that word for this example, but you had all the power. So if you saw somebody's rights were violated, you could dismiss the case. If you didn't think somebody committed the crime, you could dismiss the case. As a defense attorney, even when, there's evidence and there's proof that the person didn't commit the crime, I have to convince somebody else to agree with me. So that was the biggest difference. And you carry the burden of proving that the crime committed and that this person committed it. And it's a pretty high burden. What it does, though, is divorce and custody and criminal law, the reason they're similar is they're all trial areas.
Okay.
So you go to trial more frequently in those areas than you would, let's say, like a PI case where the insurance company is buying you out.
Right.
So I think that's why I like both, because I'm a trial attorney.
So you have a lot of experience
in the courtroom.
Which is important, right? Because people don't know. Some attorneys don't get a lot of experience in the courtroom. Yes,
some attorneys will tell you can't hire me unless you're going to settle because I don't want to go to trial. And I've done a significant number of jury trials.
So people need to do their research.
For sure. You should always look into it.
Are the laws different here in Nevada versus other states? I guess let's start when it comes to divorce.
Yes. So I'm actually licensed in 2 states. I'm licensed in Nevada and Arizona.
Okay.
So I take occasional stuff in Mojave County. Mostly I focus in Nevada.
Okay.
But I was a prosecutor in both states. So there's several different variations of the law. There's community property and equitable distribution states. I am not licensed in any equitable distribution states.
Let's explain what that means. I know community property because I'm in real estate, but I guess let's explain them both.
So I can't really explain equitable distribution because I couldn't pick a state that I'm licensed in to talk about.
Okay.
What I can tell you is that that's where your name, let me back up. Let's do it this way. The easiest way to explain it, because it's kind of confusing. Community property states believe that when you get married, you create a community.
Okay.
The day you get married, you are now working for both of you. You are now doing everything for the benefit of the community. So from the day you get married until the day you get divorced, everything you do is half basically for you and half for your spouse on both sides. So anything you acquire, all of that is 50-50. Okay, so when you get divorced, that means
50-50?
Everything is 50-50.
And that's here in Las Vegas or Nevada in general?
Nevada in general.
Okay.
Most community property states, like Arizona is also community property.
Okay.
So they're going to go that way as well. They can deviate if there's a reason to, like from giving 50-50. So if let's say somebody has a gambling problem and they're picking up hookers and they're paying like expensive hookers, like tens of thousands of dollars.
Does that come with gambling problems?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, at the casino, I'm just making up stories to give you.
I like
because it isn't, but I need to show how extreme it is.
Yeah, show me.
So marital waste is a thing in Nevada.
Okay.
So if you have two people who are married and
marital
one is...
waste?
Yes.
Okay. I'm learning all these new terms. I like it. Thank you.
I'm telling you, I'm a nerd.
I like it. Give it to me, please.
But if you so two married people, one of them has gambling issues, pays for expensive hookers and uses drugs, takes hookers on expensive, extravagant trips, that money doesn't benefit the community, right? Like, so that person would...
When we say community, it's that marriage.
It's the marital two people.
So it doesn't, if I had a gambling problem and loved hookers, that wouldn't benefit my wife.
Exactly. But just a gambling problem has actually been really hard to show it's marital waste. Because if you stay married to somebody who has a gambling problem and watch them spend all your money,
then you're okay with it, right? That means you're okay with it.
Right.
Okay.
You're making a community decision also. Huh. So that's why I threw in the hookers, because it makes it extreme. That's where you draw the
line at the hookers.
Or an affair partner. Like if you have somebody that you're having an affair with and you're buying them extravagant gifts, the gifts to your person you're having an affair with does not benefit the community. What
if you're buying that person a Chanel bag and you're buying your wife one too? Is that bad?
I mean, you don't...
Is that bad for the community?
It is bad for
I'm asking you for a friend.
I know, but that's... Yeah, I probably wouldn't buy the Chanel bag for both.
Okay.
I'd probably only
more
buy
bags
it
for you. I'm just kidding. Nah. I've been married for 22 years now. So I've been a good boy.
Good.
Yes. So you don't have to worry. I won't be a client, but I refer you a lot of business.
Well, and if you ever are thinking about being a client, call me first.
Yes,
because I'll remind you why you don't want to be one of my clients. I actually turn people away when they can still, like if I truly talk to somebody and think they can save their marriage, I send them
you're a good attorney.
I send them to like a therapist or tell them to work through it first before they even start actually processing a divorce.
See, because this is why we brought you in.
You can't change your mind. I mean, you can change your mind and get remarried, but once you say the word divorce in a marriage, it kind of
it gets
changes the dynamic of the relationship, because now the parties, like the people involved, there's a way out.
Yeah.
Where marriage is not supposed to be that.
You know what's weird in real estate where I see is people get surprised when we get them approved, we find them a house, and then it comes time to close. But even before that, escrow notifies them that your spouse has to sign, but they're nowhere on the loan. They're nowhere involved, but because of community property, I learned that technically they own half of it. So what happens in that case when they deed themselves off the property? Do they still have the right to it?
So that is actually not as easy of an answer. Like it's not a black and white answer. It's not like a clear, here's the line. So automatically signing a deed at the time of, like, let's say two spouses, one of them has really bad credit, messes up the loan terms, right? And so you need to have the person with good credit finance the house, which means everything needs to be in that person's name. The person who signs the quitclaim deed doesn't necessarily automatically lose any ownership interest. There's arguments to be made that even signing the deed was for the benefit of the community.
In order to buy the house.
But it makes the argument way more difficult to get half the value of the house.
Speaking of the house, if somebody is getting a divorce, that doesn't mean one person can force the other person to sell?
So...
Sorry, I took this the real estate route.
Go ahead. Actually, I love the challenges, but this will help you. I'm happy to help.
Well, I'm just going to refer them to you, so...
Well, but it'll help you when you're dealing with somebody going through a divorce who has an attorney that hasn't fully explained it.
basically, I talk to clients who want to sell their house because they're getting a divorce. But normally it's the husband and wife who call me. They're not calling me together. And then the other person doesn't want to sign. So if there's not any attorneys involved yet, one can't force the other person to sell because you need both signatures.
Right.
Escrow is not going to do anything without both parties signing. So I guess the first step, if you are going to get the D word, is to reach out to you to start that conversation going first.
Definitely. So what happens a lot of time is one person wants to stay in the house, especially right now. Look at where our interest rates are.
Yeah, makes sense.
So people are getting divorced where they bought a house, let's say 7-8 years ago, have really good interest rates, and now are looking at significantly higher payments, right? So they really don't want to sell the house. They want to stay because they can't buy comparably. You don't have to sell. There's other options. So they could assume a loan. They can refinance. They could take out a HELOC.
Buy the person out. You usually have to remove the spouse's name from the loan if, within a reasonable amount of time. Can you force sale? You can try, but the judges are usually pretty inclined to let them buy each other out if one person wants to stay in the house, mainly because especially if there's kids or stuff. Does that make a difference or
not? Not really. A lot of parents will, let somebody stay in the house for a while for the kids. But the reason is really because what the community has is the equity interest in the house, right? So if you have $200,000 in equity in your house, the community, each person has $100,000 of equity in the house. Like, that's what the community owns. The house is still owned by the bank.
So it's 50-50 no matter what, always.
Unless you have marital waste or other reasons for the judge to deviate. And they have to actually say why they're deviating.
Besides gambling and hookers, what else is waste? Is buying animals, because we have a whole farm, horses, goats, chickens, pigs, cows. Is that a waste?
Dogs.
Soon to be. I mean, obviously we met with discussing puppies. So how do people argue over dogs?
Absolutely.
Come on.
Pet custody is a thing. I have some that actually want to do custody agreements for pets.
That's the real thing?
So I advise against it usually, but if somebody really wants to have a pet custody agreement, it's a contract. So we've done it. But the issue is the same thing that comes up with kid custody, right? When you have two parents that have I want to do this on my time, I want to do that on my time, then there's sometimes tension. But we have done a couple of pet custody agreements where they just were adamant that they wanted to share joint custody of the dogs.
So is that the biggest difference in Vegas and Nevada, and I guess in Arizona? The biggest difference is community property? Is there any other laws that we have different here?
I mean, it depends on where you're asking different from. Every state has its own variations of things, right? Our marital waste, for example, is usually a pretty extreme situation.
That's a new word. I like that. Marital waste. I'm going to use that with
when you waste community assets for outside the community.
Community. Okay. I like that.
So, but then, when you go into it, you have separate property and community property because anything you come into the marriage with is still yours. So if you have a bank account with $100,000 in it, that's your money.
Even without a prenup?
As long as you had it before you got married and you don't add or take away from that $100,000, yes.
Wow.
It's so much. Right?
You want to hear a good story?
I love good stories.
Okay. So when my wife and I got married, we had a Jewish wedding. And there's an agreement in the Jewish religion that you sign, and it's in Hebrew. So I don't think she knew what she signed on there. How would you fight that?
What is in it?
I don't know. It's in Hebrew.
So
we'll see.
If it was an actual agreement, you have it translated, see what you guys agreed to. But it couldn't be a prenup because the argument for a prenup would be that the parties didn't know and it's not in their native language. Like, if I'm going to do a prenup for somebody in a different language, both parties' native language, like there's a translation, like you have somebody.
That was a test. I wanted to see if you would take my side, but you stayed neutral. I like that.
I have to be able to argue both sides.
I like that. How is Vegas good for business? Is there a lot of divorces here, or
There's a lot of divorces everywhere.
everywhere?
Right? Like you know,
Vegas makes it worse, or because of the gambling and everything, or
I don't really think so.
no?
Like it's not
People have the wrong impression about Vegas.
right. It's not all hookers and blow.
No.
We have some that where it's gambling.
Mm-hmm.
You have some where it's drugs.
What's the number one reason, or the top reasons?
Incompatibility, to be honest. Like
just don't get along.
don't like each other, don't want to be married. So, you know, what I see is that people who have been married longer are becoming less satisfied in their marriages. So, you know, a marriage is a relationship that needs invested in. So when people stop making those investments, and usually, you know, I'm seeing a lot of people when their kids are old enough, like older, you know, 15, 16, 17, 18, or even older, getting divorced because they're finding less satisfaction in the marriage. And it's sad to me that, you know, we live in, and I think it's partly the community, the society, the way we function, right? Because now it's made to look easy to find a new partner, right? Dating apps make it so it looks easy to find somebody that you're compatible with.
Never thought about that.
And we see social media, and on social media, you see people posting what they want you to see.
Yeah.
You're not posting the fight with your wife, I hope. And if not, she can call me. Okay.
I like that. That was a commercial right there.
You're not fighting, you're not posting the things that aren't positive looking most of the time.
Right. All the good stuff.
So when somebody looks at your social media or my social media or whatever, they see all of the good stuff and none of the bad stuff. So then you equate life, because you believe you're seeing somebody's life, to all good. And if yours isn't all good, you go looking somewhere else to find all good. It just doesn't exist.
You're teaching me a lot of stuff to use with my wife. Anything I want done, like, you know, like, hey, make me call at ease. That would be a good commercial. I'm pitching ideas. I don't know if it's flying, but you mentioned social media. Can that be used against you in the courtroom?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yep. That's not privileged. You know, anything you say can be used against you in court, right? If we can authenticate it and show that it was you who was communicating. And so I would say be kind.
Text messages too?
Man, so, okay, family court's kind of like the old Wild West, you know. Yeah, they'll come in. Should they, under the law? The answer is no, they should not.
Because you can't prove it, right? What if I saved my contact as a different name and was...
Or you spoof numbers, which is a thing that we've had happen, where somebody makes it up and texts it, like they spoof the actual same phone number.
Really?
Text themselves, and then report that it was the other person who did it. Yeah, that's not a good thing to do, because that would be falsifying evidence when you present that in court knowing it's fake. But you have this authentication requirement under the law, but the courts will often allow text messages, and so it's a fight to keep them out. So, you know, don't tell anybody you're taking your kid and running.
Yeah.
It's probably not a good idea, even when you don't mean it.
And when does social media get used? If they're trying to prove a point, like, you know, that person's gambling or whatever, or that kind of stuff?
Usually it's used more for custody. Like, this person, you know, is saying derogatory things about the mom in front of the kid. Here's a picture that they posted on social media where the kid was somewhere that was inappropriate.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, where they're trying to show fitness as a parent. Who's the better parent is, you know, common argument.
That's tough.
We actually have in our fee agreement that I'm such a kid person. So I'm a mom, somebody who left full-time work to raise my own kid. I actually have in my fee agreement that if you're not acting in the best interest of the kid, we withdraw.
Really?
So I won't use your kids as pawn, and I'm not going to help you use your kids as pawn. And if you want to use your kids as pawn, I'm not the right attorney for you. because
Do you say that with the pets too? With the dogs?
well,
You need to add that.
I should, huh?
Yeah.
Because I do love
You love dogs.
I mean,
What's your limit?
my
Like how many dogs?
I've only ever had one until recently, and now I have 2 puppies.
Okay. Are you done or?
Probably. I mean, for right this second, yes.
Okay.
Forever, probably not. It's worth the heartache to have the dogs.
Okay.
But
yeah,
everybody needs 2 puppies.
Okay.
They play together. They take care of each other.
Yes.
They have a partner in crime.
Yes. Yes. You're gonna talk me into it. I'm gonna probably end up getting 2, but then only if you add that pet custody in that agreement too.
Oh, we
gotta ask in the best interest of the dogs.
We can do that. We can come up with a contract.
What do they usually like? That's got to be tough, the custody thing, right? I mean, and especially parents talking bad about other parents. That's got to be tough.
So my typical thing is, look, we try and keep conflict down. I'm not an attorney who wants to create and add conflict.
That's good.
When you have kids together at the end of a divorce case, as much as you might want,
you got to get along, right?
You have to raise kids together, so you want to keep it as amicable as possible. And it doesn't have to be completely amicable. You can come up with an agreement that lays everything out so there's not much room for dispute. You know, some people need the kids are going to be dropped off at this time and picked up at this time at this location, and you know, here's what they're allowed to take between the houses. And I mean, you can go into like a lot of detail. Or there's parents where it's just, they agree to exchange the kids, you know, so that they get equal time with the kids, and they're going to do week on, week off. They'll exchange them on Monday. And the parents can figure it out. It just depends on how much conflict is there. Yeah. It's usually resentment and anger, frustration that they just need time to get through. And a lot of times the divorce period or the custody period is the worst. And then it improves. So there's always hope when you're going through that. If somebody's going through that, they can get through it, and it can get better.
The best thing to do is probably have you be the first call before you move out or do anything, or to advise, because for that person, it might be their first rodeo, but for you could probably advise on what's the best route to take.
We actually do frequently. I tell people my recommendation is if somebody's thinking about getting divorced, because divorce is expensive. And I'm not just talking paying an attorney.
Right.
Like, you're going to lose some of your stuff, right? You're going to lose some of the things that you've worked to earn. You're going to lose time with your kids. You're going to there are things that you are going to lose in a divorce. Yeah. So the best divorce is the one that you can prevent. But if you call right away, sometimes we can send you somewhere that'll actually help save it instead of you needing me to begin with. And other times we can tell you how to prepare to get out and what to do to protect yourself and your assets.
See, lawyers are good. That's what I wanted to show. Well, especially this one. Not all.
I was going to say.
Every business, we're not all created equal. So you're the first call. We're going to stop talking about the divorce thing a little bit, because I think my wife's going to think that I'm asking all these questions for my benefit.
I'm sure she's not.
No. Well,
I mean, especially if you get puppies.
Yeah.
Who can divorce a man that gets them puppies?
She doesn't want purses. She wants cows. So we got that. She wants goats. She wants Mr. Pig. We rescued him from the shelter. He gets 2 organic salads a day. I always think, is that for me when we're at Trader Joe's? But it's for Mr. Pig. Whole cart of organic stuff. The chicken. I don't know. I'm easy. And I don't gamble, and I don't mess with hookers.
I mean, what else could she
package,
want?
Right? I mean...
Yeah,
I'm just putting it out there in case we had a divorce. So, people, I heard dating's hard. So I'm trying to, hype myself up. But it's funny you say that, because I talk to a lot of people and they're like, you don't know what the dating scene is like. I was like, looks incredible when I look on social media.
Because you're looking on social media. I know it's a buzzkill inside.
Instead. Let's look at the criminal side. That's probably low here in Vegas, right? Low? Not much action.
Yeah, we don't have criminals here.
Yeah, my best friend he was a criminal defense attorney. Not was, is, but he tells me, I don't know if I could say that. He tells me stories, or is that allowed, or?
You can say that he tells you stories.
Yeah, stories. I've never said about cases.
Yeah, I think you're familiar with tell stories. We all tell stories. Like, I can tell about a case as long as I don't disclose attorney-client privileged information. So
Have you ever seen anything crazy in the courtrooms? I saw that video that one time with when they were tackling that judge. That guy ran like Superman.
Yeah.
I was like, is this AI? But
No, it was real.
Things get heated in there.
Yeah. I mean, I like wearing heels so I can dig my heel into the foot of my client if they say anything silly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that's a stop talking right now.
But don't they know? Like, no.
I mean, so the reality is you have somebody who's defending their reputation. They're trying to keep themselves from going to jail. Like, these are people who are in a position where it takes everything you have to restrain yourself from arguing, right?
But ChatGPT is telling them what to say.
Oh, don't. Man, I love that one. I love when somebody calls and says, well, I ChatGPT'd it, and ChatGPT says, and I said, all right, well, then there's your lawyer. Have a good day.
Yeah, I'm helping people with their biggest transaction of their life, and they said, ChatGPT said to do. I'm like, been doing this 23 years, done thousands of transactions. Are you going to trust a robot, or are you going to trust my experience?
Do you know what's fun about that?
Tell me.
So AI, right? Mm-hmm. If you ask, I belong to a group of attorneys that we are trying to see how AI can benefit us, like as a tool. It won't replace us, right? Of course. Because it can't do what humans can.
Right.
So I'm not actually worried about that. But AI is actually taught it's better to be wrong than to be uncertain. So it will give you an answer that is made up.
Yeah.
Because it is taught that it's better to be wrong. So there's actually been several attorneys who have been in trouble, including in Nevada and nationally. But we have one in Nevada that they're filing documents into the court using AI, and it's citing cases that don't even exist.
No way.
Yes. So the judges go to look up the case to see what the case actually says.
And it's not even...
It doesn't even exist. And so as an attorney, this is where it drives me nuts, because it's like, take more pride in your work.
Yeah, at least check it.
Exactly.
That is wild. Yeah, we had a client who's buying a house. They got a home inspection. They uploaded the report into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, make sure you get information, because the garage was converted into a bedroom, and it wasn't done with permits. So they called me all worried about it, and I said, go back and ask ChatGPT, check it again, make sure you're right. And they checked it again, and it said, oh, no, sorry, it was just a mistake. It was wrong information, blah, blah, blah. So it just like made up something, and it was like sounding completely certain.
And that's even on the enterprise level ones, because most of the attorneys are using enterprise level to protect that attorney-client privilege. Like you need, the common, what people would recognize as being comparable is HIPAA. Right? Like HIPAA compliant software is what attorneys should be using if they're going to be putting any confidential information into a platform.
Yeah.
But they
that's wild.
It's I haven't gotten to where I use AI to draft everything. So
yeah.
And if we ever have an AI suggestion on a case, we always look it up, because
yeah, for sure.
That's too important.
I mean, we're not knocking it. I use it all the time. But trust the professionals.
When you have to use it intelligently as a professional.
As a tool, right? Just like everything else.
Right. It's like using an email provider or using a phone. Like, you use it to benefit your clients or your customers, right? It's really important to me that we use it responsibly, I guess.
Yes. Be responsible. What are you seeing with DUIs? Is that high because we're in Vegas and everything's 24 hours?
DUIs are always high.
Yeah.
We always have a lot of DUIs. I was a public defender when I was in law school in Ohio.
Oh, wow.
So I had my little learner's permit to go into court and argue misdemeanors. So I did a lot of DUIs there too. I don't know that it's higher necessarily, because a lot of the people here who are drinking or visiting and staying at hotels and casinos, so they walk around more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
More. It's not the people leaving like the bar down the street and driving the 2 blocks home as often, I think, is what you see. So we have probably, I think it's pretty comparable. I don't really see Vegas as being such the, I don't see it being that much different for the population, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you recommend dealing with police officer if you get pulled over?
Don't say anything silly.
Okay.
Don't. You have a right to remain silent, so just make sure you have the ability to remain silent. Don't say anything.
People say silly stuff?
Oh, all the time. All the time. I mean, they get pulled over, and when you're talking about a traffic ticket, it's whatever, right? Like, a traffic ticket ruins your day, not your decade.
Right.
When you're talking about more serious stuff, you just can't talk. Don't say anything, because if you say something, fun fact, they can use anything you say against you in court.
I thought that was just in the movies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
You have the right to an attorney if you cannot afford one.
One will be appointed.
There you go. See, you do know the law.
What? I don't know. I saw it in a movie or something, so I don't know. I mean, I have friends and clients who are police officers. I have friends who are attorneys, so I'm kind of like, trapped in the middle when one says, one thing, one says the other. So I'm kind of neutral to it. So, but I'm surprised that, like, what can you possibly say crazy that can be used against you, I guess?
Yes, officer, please get into my car. I am super drunk and can't stand up. That might be one.
Really?
Yes, and I actually teach at the police academies, too, some of them, not all of them.
What do you teach?
Civil liability, how officers can protect themselves from being sued. Like what kind of things they do that my clients would want to sue them over and might be able to sue over. So I teach them how not to do that stuff so that they can protect themselves. I juvenile law. So I represent kids too in delinquency matters. So a kid who's been charged basically with a crime, I teach them that. And I teach probable cause. And sometimes I teach like landlord tenant or just random things that
I'll be interested in that, but I'm not going to bore people with landlord tenant stuff right now.
Well, for the law enforcement class, it's pretty quick. It's pretty easy.
Is it?
So yeah.
Okay.
But I really enjoy that because it's a way to give back to the community and help make sure that people are protected and that their rights are protected, and being involved in our legal community is important to me.
I'm glad you're on here so people can hear how awesome you are.
Thanks. I'm glad that I met you.
Yeah, that's cool. You're super sweet. What does a juvenile have to do to be tried as an adult?
Man, so there are specific crimes that are serious enough when you hit a certain age. So like if you're 13 or 14 and you commit murder, you can be tried as an adult. Usually you have to be 16 to be tried as an adult, and it has to be pretty serious crimes. Or if you have a long history, the preference is going to be, the way I would tell people to look at it, just without going into because there are very specific laws on that, is just the closer you get to 18, the more likely you are to be tried as an adult. The more serious the offense, the more likely you're to be tried as an adult. And the more history you have in the juvenile court system, the more likely you are to be tried as an adult. So like for a first offense, for stealing a candy bar from a gas station, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be tried as an adult, even if you're 16, 17.
Okay. Is that bad to be tried as an adult?
Yes, you do not want to be tried as an adult. So when you're tried as an adult, you are treated just like an adult. You're housed at CCDC. So you're at the actual detention center, the Clark County Detention Center.
So even if you're like 10, 11, you could be with adults? Or?
Well, you wouldn't be charged. So criminal responsibility doesn't start usually until you're 8 for serious offenses and 10 for general stuff. Okay. So if you're 6 and you steal a candy bar, it's not... they're not likely to charge you because under the law they can't. And you don't know the reason is because you don't know the difference between right and wrong necessarily, and you don't know how a court works because you still have to be competent even as a juvenile. So you have to understand what's going on and what you did and things like that. So, but
if you're a juvenile, can you have that sealed? Any criminal stuff you do? Is that easier than as an adult?
As an adult, so as a juvenile, it's automatically sealed unless it's certain offenses when you hit certain ages, depending on the charge that you were adjudicated delinquent, which would be the comparable to convicted of. So any of those, it would determine if you're sealed at 18, 21, 25, or never. As an adult, sealing your records actually isn't difficult.
It's not?
No, we're actually very pro sealing records. Misdemeanors, you have to wait a year from the time you completely finished everything in court. Gross misdemeanors, it's usually 2. There are some exceptions, DUIs, DV, child abuse. There's, this is not, again, legal advice. This is entertainment only.
Right,
but we are pretty good about letting people seal their records. What people confuse, and what's something that you'll now know, is sealing your record does not get firearms voting rights back. You have to in Nevada, you have to get a pardon so a governor's pardon would restore rights. We do those as well.
So what does it take to lose your concealed carry permit?
Felony, DV.
What are things that are usually a felony?
Oh, concealed carry permit is different. I'm just talking about the ability to possess a firearm.
Oh, okay.
So like once you're convicted of a felony, you cannot even have a firearm in your possession. Nope. Not until you restore your civil right. Yeah.
What does that mean to restore your civil right?
Get the pardon.
How do you get a pardon?
Governor. You file a petition. I'm telling you, that one is harder to do. It's a lot more work. It takes a couple of years.
Can somebody hire you to do that?
I did, actually.
Really?
You know what's cool is my first ever pardon I did in Nevada, I submitted it and they didn't even have a hearing. They granted it on my written words alone. And that is, yes, exactly.
Wow,
that was impressive, actually. Even for attorneys, they were kind of surprised because normally you show up for a hearing and then they grant the pardon or deny the pardon, depending on the circumstances.
That sounds super hard to get.
It's not hard to get, but you still need to wait the amount of time that's necessary for the underlying offenses to be sealed.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you call me and you say, hey, I want to be able to go hunting and I need to be able to carry a firearm to go hunting, right? The only way you can do that is to do a pardon. But
when they take away your firearm, does that mean you've done something with a weapon, or it doesn't have to be?
No, anytime you're a felon, you cannot. So you become a prohibited possessor under the law. So once you are convicted of a felony or domestic violence, battery by domestic violence or an equivalent, you lose your federal right to possess a firearm.
So if you're looking to hire somebody, let's say to watch your kids, or like my situation with my agents who go meet people at houses who can be very dangerous sometimes, and we use software to check that person to see, if it's safe to meet with them, and if you can no longer see that gets a little dangerous too, right?
Well, I mean, if you think about not being able to see it, you're talking about you're not able to see something that happened, let's say 7 years ago. Okay. You're not talking about something that happened 3 weeks ago. So if somebody has...
Is there a time frame before you can get that sealed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't you can't finish probation and be like, oh, I want my record sealed. You have to wait the time to seal the record, and the pardons, you usually wait that same amount of time or longer.
Okay. So to get it sealed is going through a process, and they think that you deserve to have it sealed, or...
And usually the prosecutors will agree to seal records. Like I said, as long as there's no new offenses, as long as everything lines up that you qualify to have it sealed, it's usually sealed pretty easily, and the prosecutors will agree because they know that people change and... Yeah, it's pretty, I don't, that's one of my favorite things to do. It's a lot of, it's paperwork, but it's, you have somebody coming to you who's had a bad life decision at some point impact their lives, right? In a way that they didn't call us obviously to begin with. So now we're cleaning it up later, but I still get to help them clean up later.
So kind of like a fresh start.
Yeah. And you get to help them get their life back. I mean, that's what divorce, it's the same. All of these are the same. It's helping people get their lives back, right? Because when you get divorced, I used to tell my dad said, how are you going to ever be a divorce attorney? I said, I'm not, Dad. I don't want to break up families. That's Melissa at 23 when she was fresh out of law school. And then I started practicing, and I watched people over the last, almost 20 years now I've been practicing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And what I see is, I always said I wouldn't want to break up a family, but I'm like, I don't. People come to me broken, and I get to help them heal.
Yeah, there's already a problem if they're coming to you.
But you actually get to help them get through some of the hardest times in their lives by just being there and knowing what to do, and helping them through it. And then at the other side, they heal. And divorce, criminal defense, record sealing, all of that is about the future, because today sucks. Like, I can't fix today.
Right.
I'm trying to fix your future for you. That's what we do.
That's beautiful. So you went to school in Ohio, you said?
I did. I'm originally from Ohio.
Okay.
Moved to Nevada the summer between my junior and senior year of high school, actually. My dad had a job here. We moved out here. Stayed at UNLV for college. So my undergrad is from UNLV. And then my grandfather was not doing very well and had a caretaker that was not doing very well. So I went back to Ohio to take care of my grandpa. I went to law school. And then after that, I moved back because I love Nevada. I love Vegas.
That's super sweet of you to take care of him.
Family's everything.
It's difficult. Yeah, I moved my dad down the street for me so I can help with it. And it's difficult to do things while taking care of that. So give you lots of credit for that.
You need a good support system.
Yeah.
People to help out and, just make sure you take a couple breaks here and there.
Right. So what brought you back to Vegas?
My parents were still here.
Okay.
So I love it here. I love the sunshine.
Sell somebody on the city if they're thinking of moving here.
If somebody's thinking about moving to Vegas, it's a convenient city. Mm-hmm. Compared to other big cities. So we're like a very big, small city. We have all the big city amenities,
right?
But we don't have the big city feel. Like, I don't feel like I do when I go to LA or when I go to New York, right? It feels like still a homey place.
Right.
And you have a lot of community involvement and you have sunshine so often. And I love the sunshine. And you have our roads.
Are good?
Are fantastic.
Really?
I mean, the construction's annoying, but if you are on one side of the city and you have to get to the other side of the city,
215.
Well, you can take Sunset all the way across and it goes straight. Like, I don't have to wonder if it wound around a mountain.
That's true.
Or a hill or took
That's
some
true.
weird detour. It goes straight across. Like, we're a grid.
That's great advice. Yeah. I mean, we have the sports teams. We have everything big cities do and also small town vibes.
That's what I like about it is I was a small town person for a long time. I've lived in like Havasu City, Arizona, which is a smaller town. I grew up in Ohio in a small town, where we had, horses and buggies still running around. Like, it was really cool. And then moved here and I love that I still get
this
that
is
small
good.
time.
You still enjoying it?
I do. I
All
do
right.
still enjoy it.
What's your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Still in Vegas?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I like the sunshine.
Good.
And the people. I mean, I get to meet people like you when I'm out doing random stuff with my kid.
Right? Looking at puppies.
I just got to go pet some puppies.
Yes, it was a lucky day.
Yeah.
We didn't get a puppy, but we met you, and we're still going to get a puppy. We're eyeing a couple things right now, so.
Do I get a vote in that? Asking as a friend.
I already know your vote. Your vote is just don't get one, get two.
Get both of the ones you're looking at.
Two, yes. My wife's going to like you until I need you one day to represent me.
Well, I mean, call me before you get to that point
Yeah,
so I can send you somewhere good.
Yeah, you'll be like, don't.
Yeah, don't do it.
Speaking on that, let's go through it and tell people how to stay out of trouble. So let's start with divorce since we were talking about that, the big D. How can they stay out of trouble?
How do you avoid getting divorced?
Yes.
Or how do you,
Yes.
like,
How do
once
you
you're getting
avoid-
divorced, not cause yourself
Well, if you're getting
problems?
divorced, be at ease.
Yeah, if you're getting divorced.
At ease. That's your first thing you do. Make that phone call. But before, how do we...
Invest in your relationship. Invest in yourself as a person and your relationship so that you can repair whatever's broken. And somebody said to me not too long ago, actually, unspoken expectations today become tomorrow's resentments. And that's what happens when marriages deteriorate, right?
That was deep. Good thing I was sitting down for that one.
I'm telling you,
That was a good one.
I study I study like relationship dynamics now, because I want to help people, and that's how I can help people is.
Yeah.
But if you don't express what your expectations of your partner and your spouse, then you're going to end up not having your expectations met, and you're going to end up resenting them. And then once you resent them, it's hard to come back from that.
Not that I know, but it just sounds tough. But, you said something there important that works with my agents that I have too, is I tell them, almost like a scene from going on an airplane where they tell you put the mask on yourself first. And it's before you can help anybody else. And it's the same thing I tell my agent, you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. And I guess probably in relationships too, if you take care of yourself, that probably helps. So thanks for dropping knowledge on that. Now on the criminal side, what advice can you give?
So my joke advice is
give it
when
to me.
I always say if you're going to break the law, so there's two things. Don't break the law while you're breaking the law. Don't jaywalk with your meth in your pocket. Right? Because if you have your drugs on you and you jaywalk, they stop you for the jaywalk, not for the drugs, and they find the drugs. So that's one of our jokes. And the other one is do it alone and don't tell anybody. Because it's the people knowing that gets you in trouble. But, you know, those are jokes. The reality of staying out of trouble and staying is, if you're struggling with anything, get help. You know, drugs, mental health, there's a lot of those underlying issues in criminal stuff, alcohol. You know, on a DUI, like if you're out drinking, Uber there. So to avoid a DUI, Uber where you're going.
Yeah.
You don't have keys in a car. You can't drive home. So when your judgment's impaired, you still need to Uber.
But when you see these things on the news, on TMZ, on shows, it's like you see these successful people. It's like, you can afford an Uber. Like, what are you doing?
Judgment's impaired. So if I drive to the bar to go, and if you drive there and you sit down, you have some drinks, what happens after a few drinks?
Yeah.
By the time that you're not going to be able to drive, you're also not able to have that good judgment. So that's why I say Uber to where you're going to be drinking, so you don't have an option to drive home.
That is such great advice.
I'm just saying.
Because it's always like Uber home, don't drive. But at that point, it's too late. If you Uber there, that's so simple. But why am I so...
Well, and the convenience, right? Like nobody wants to leave their car because then the next day they have to figure out how to get their car. So I'm fine. I can just drive. My judgment's impaired and I don't want to leave my car. And, you know, don't throw anger or anything into that mix, right? But that's how you avoid a DUI, is you Uber to where you're going to be drinking.
I'm trying to figure out which one I like more, that or don't jaywalk with meth. I'm trying to... That's...
I hope that more people can benefit from the Uber to where you're going to be drinking. Because if they have meth in their pocket, I hope they get help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that one. That was great. Uber first.
Yeah.
That should be a slogan. Uber first.
Maybe we just made a slogan for Uber.
Yes. Uber first. We're giving out commercial ideas the whole time here. So we got the divorce. We figure out what to do there. We got the criminal side. Figured out what to do there. That covers pretty much.
Custody is the only other thing. And what I would tell anybody who's dealing with a custody stuff is don't badmouth the other parent to the kids. Don't put the kids in the middle. Like, your kids didn't ask to be here in this situation, which is why I am very particular about that.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that you might be angry, that there might be some hard feelings, but try and not, you know, the kids are half you, half them. Like DNA. So when kids oftentimes will hear you say something bad about the other parent and they can internalize that.
I see that, and it's so hard, you know, because I feel like when that changes is when another like boyfriend or girlfriend come into the picture. And I feel like that throws that dynamic off.
I say that all the time. I tell people, I say, today you get along, right?
But
what happens when one of you starts dating somebody or moving on from this relationship truly, that's where you run into the, you know, the concerns of the other parent is, I don't want my child around that person, right? Yeah. So that's why but the way you protect yourself from that is to have good stuff in place with with somebody who knows what's likely to happen.
Yeah.
You know, we do this all the time. And we do it from the day you decide you're getting divorced, and then we modify cases, you know, custody arrangements for years.
Even years afterwards?
Absolutely. Yeah. We stay involved and connected to our clients. We reach out and make sure everything's going well, even when we're not getting paid to do it, because we do this to help people.
Yeah, I feel like if I was to get a divorce, I don't think counseling would work things out. I think the only way it would work out is if I found out you were on the other side representing my wife. I'd be very scared.
So
I would say, let's just work this out.
Be like, we'll try counseling. Counseling might work. I'll give it another try.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I thought you were incredible the first 5 minutes I met you. After talking to you an hour, I think, you know, you should be people's first call.
I appreciate
for divorce. For criminal, my buddy's going to get upset. So I would say call both you guys, see which one works better. But for divorce, I'm sending people to you right away. You care about the kids, and usually it's because I don't know if this is bad, but you love dogs, and I feel like people who love animals, I don't know. My wife said she started dating me because she came into my bedroom and saw a picture of my dog on the side of my bed when we were dating. So she's like, "That's a good guy."
Fair.
But
if you take care of an animal who's not able to take care of themselves and you treat them well, I think that says something about who you are as a person to some level.
That's what she said. But you know how pathetic my line was? I told her, come see my DVD player in my room. Like, first of all,
dude, you didn't use the picture of your dog, you used the DVD player?
Plus, some people listening to this are like, what's a DVD? But,
lucky for you, I'm old enough to know.
You understood, but some people are like going to be like, what is that? Is that on Netflix? No, it's not. But tell people where they can find you if they get into trouble, if they need to talk to somebody. My recommendation is you're the first call before they do anything. But how do they find you?
I agree. It's helpful if they call us ahead of time. You can find us online, www.ateaselaw.com. And because I have a sense of humor, right? It's at ease, so ATEASELAW. And when people can't hear at ease, I tell them you could also go with ATs. Ooh. And no, I didn't even know that when I set it up. But our email addresses are hard because it's at ease law. So you have the @ and then the word at ease law. So they can also email us at info@ateaselaw.com.
Okay.
Or they can give us a call, which is the best way because then they can talk to somebody. And because when you're dealing with this, having somebody who cares and, honestly, it's like, hey, I'm going through a divorce. Having somebody say, I'm sorry to hear that that's what's happening to you is huge in those moments. And so my staff better do that because they are trained to do that.
For sure.
But 702-602-5004.
You have that memorized.
Shouldn't.
Can you do it again? And afterwards, I'm going to say at ease.
702-602-5004.
At ease. I don't know. I'm trying to be part of your commercial. I don't know.
Like
the name is incredible.
Well,
like 10 out of 10. I mean, that name is perfect. Instagram, any social media they can find you?
At Ease Law for all of them. So it would be the at Ease Law. Yeah, we have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. There's some helpful videos on there. If somebody's dealing with some issues, they can search and find some information.
It's you talking too in a lot of these videos, right?
Yes, it's me. Yep. And then, and I'm getting better. I only opened my firm in 2021 and we're completely virtual.
Sweet.
All of my staff has the ability to work at home with their families and their puppies because the quality of life is so important to me for them too. Like I want to help them have better lives.
Don't hype it up too much because then my staff is going to think they can work from home.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's horrible working home. Working at home where your fridge is, it's horrible. But it crashed my train of thought.
I needed to because you almost caused me a lot of problems.
I doubt
But this is for entertainment purposes only, so she wasn't. So you're the first call. You made everybody smarter today, and if you want to be at ease, make that call. Hopefully you won't have to, but life happens.
And watch our social media. We're going to be rolling out some webinars in the next few months to where we can help educate people. Some people can't afford an attorney or they just want the education before they make that leap.
All right.
We're going to be doing some training, like some educational type stuff just to educate on the law.
Well, let's do some together about real estate too,
because
I'm sure that's something people deal with in divorce. So.
A lot.
Yeah.
Frequently. I definitely appreciate doing something like that and getting together for that.
Awesome. Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time, and I'm at ease.